friend, Nate Burleson. He does everything, CBS, NFL Sundays. It's always a joy to have you sitting here, right here with us at the breakfast table.
What's up, Nate?
Welcome in, Nate.
Of course. What's up, baby? I appreciate you having me on. Good to see y'all. Happy Friday. We made it through the week.
We made it. We made it. Earlier this week, Kyle said that when you want to start talking about undefeated seasons, you have to at least get to 10 wins before that conversation starts. Eagles are rolling right now, 8-0. Is it too early to start that conversation? What do you think, Nate?
Man, you can start that conversation once they were the last undefeated team in the NFL. Why do we have to wait till they get to 10 wins? I mean, look at what they're doing. These are convincing victories week in and week out. And if you're looking at the rest of the schedule, seems like they're going to continue this streak. And they're not just doing it one way or with one guy. Jalen Hurts is playing fantastic. A.J. Brown is a beast. Devontae Smith can get cooking anytime he wants to start going. Then Miles Sanders is doing this thing on running back. I haven't even mentioned the defense yet. So, yes, we can talk about it right now and mention the Eagles where they are. Of course, we want to wait and see if they can do this in November, in December. But right now, let's give credit where credit is due. They are dominant and still undefeated.
Yeah, you got to give credit to them. And listen, Nate, you might need a fork and a knife to try to digest this thing. But I want you to just wrap your head around this, okay? Brady, Rodgers, Stafford, Burrow, and Carr. All of them coming off losses. Yeah. We're not sure what we're thinking about these quarterbacks and these teams. Everything's upside down. One of those quarterbacks, though, is going to have to get a win this week. Which quarterback do you think gets that W and turns their season around?
I'll go youth before age. As much as I can appreciate the old heads, and I'm not taking a shot at Tom Brady, I'm looking at Joe Burrow. And I know it. Everybody's looking at the Bengals saying, well, they don't have Jamar Chase, one of the most explosive wide receivers in the game. How are they going to continue to do what they do on offense? So they have to figure things out. They just got the news last week that Jamar Chase was going to be out for a handful of weeks. Now they'll start to figure out where their offense is. They'll lean on their playmakers. And on top of that, they have the Carolina Panthers coming up. Now, I know the Carolina Panthers played well last week, but this is a get-right game. So for me, it's the Burrow Bengals that are going to get right after taking an L from the Browns last weekend.
Nate, for years it was baseball and basketball. The trade deadline was such a big deal. Now it feels like football is where it's at. This is the middle of the World Series, middle of the NBA season, and like the NFL owned every headline on Tuesday because of all the big moves. So many with Roquan and Chubb and all the other offensive players. What do you think stood out the most?
You know, I was thinking about this last night, Shregs, and I wanted to go NBA. You know I did. I wanted to talk about Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, going from, the Charlotte Hornets to the Lakers, or maybe Scottie Pippen. You didn't know he was with the Sonics, and they dealt him to the Bulls, but I was like, let me stick with the NFL. For me, one of the best trades that I've seen, and we really didn't know how it was going to work out, but it did. Randy Moss to the Patriots. You remember when he was playing for the Oakland Raiders and we were all whispering, well, is Randy Moss still the man? Is he still as good as he used to be? And then they dealt him to the... Oh, my bad, Strays. You asked what trade recently happened. Hockenson to the Vikings. I heard you guys whispering in the background. I'm like, why aren't they responding to my Randy Moss to the Patriots? All right, Hockenson to the Vikings. That's what I wanted to mention. Yeah, no, listen, they have an offense that's explosive. You got the running game that leads them right into this play-action offense. Of course, Justin Jefferson is a monster. Now you add in that type of playmaking tight end, and I got to be honest, I was a little upset that they dealt him away from the Lions because I thought he was one of those premier tight ends that can be there for a decade plus. But now you have Kirk Cousins, who is willing and dealing this season. He has another tall, big frame weapon that he can use in the red zone. Yeah, I got Hockenson to the Vikings. Okay, ask me the next question now, because obviously I'm excited to talk about Moss and the Patriots.
Nate, I was getting territorial because I wanted to ask you this question in hopes that you brought up the Minnesota Vikings, because that answer that you were just about to do a deep dive on tied back into one that I had during Whiteboard Wednesday, which was your favorite sports trade of all time, and I whipped it around to my least, which was KG going to Boston because Moss ended up going from the Raiders to the Patriots. But back it up again, because your Moss take when he left Minnesota the first time, you're saying that was your favorite?
Yeah. Let me back it up, flip it, and reverse it. I do remember KG, big ticket, going to the Celtics, which was crazy. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. You know what was possible? Randy Moss to play for the New England Patriots. And for so many reasons, I don't think we necessarily thought this was going to work. One, because, like I said, there were whispers that Moss just doesn't have it anymore. And then, remember how many guys would go to the Patriots and offensive players would say, well, the system is just too much. It's too complicated. We've seen some veteran wide receivers, and they just can't hold on and grasp that offense. And then Randy Moss, who has a high IQ when it comes to offensive football, is a beautiful football mind, went out there and was flawless in this system. The only thing that bothered me is that we couldn't see it for years to come. It just ended abruptly. But I loved it because it reminded us how great Randy was. And just think about that. We have Randy Moss, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, one of the most explosive. I mean, literally, his nickname was the Freak. Getting balls thrown to him by Tom Brady, the GOAT. Like, it was just a moment in time. If we really break it down, I don't think we appreciate it as much as we should. But that was one of my favorite traits. And on top of that, they had a great season. And they should have won a Super Bowl. Talking about undefeated teams, they should have won a Super Bowl. Would have really solidified Randy Moss's career. And I know Sean O'Hara has something to say about that.
It was such a good year. You're right. It was phenomenal. It was so good. It was awesome watching Randy do his thing during the regular season and then get shut down in the Super Bowl. That's right.
You teed that up, Ray.
Oh,
you could see him getting fidgety as you were saying it.
Flip it in reverse it. Get your freak on. Boom. All right, I see you, Missy.
Oh, no.
As always, Nate, you are a pleasure. Thank you for taking this.
This Sunday, we've deemed it Find Your Identity Week. So let's break down more of some of these matchups. We're going to head to our own backyard first for an AFC East showdown between the Bills and the Jets. Something to look forward to in this game, Peter.
There was so much hype going into that Patriots game and so much optimism and so much hope. And then this week, around Jets fans, it feels like it's doom and gloom again. And it's right back to where we were the last few years in this city. Zach Wilson has not looked great. Zach Wilson has been getting by with good offensive help and good defense and great offensive line play. This week, he's going up against Josh Allen, and it won't be the first time he's going to have to face Josh Allen, and it won't be the last. Don't go out there and lay another egg. I'm fearful that Zach Wilson's not going to play the game, and we're going to be doing quarterback controversy talk, and maybe the Jets have to look at the draft again. I don't want to go down that road yet. I don't. Zach Wilson, gotta play better than you did last week.
Stephon Diggs, Sauce Gardner. I want to see that. As a DB, you want to see the best on the best, and these guys have been two of the best in the NFL this season. I want to see what Sauce has going against not only Stephon Diggs, but a quarterback like Josh Allen. You know the targets are coming. You have to make plays. I'm going to be watching this matchup all day long.
Yeah, this game's going on at MetLife.
I want to see that. As a DB, you want to see the best on the best, and these guys have been two of the best in the NFL this season. I want to see what Sauce has going against not only Stephon Diggs, but a quarterback like Josh Allen. You know the targets